We're back. Puma Pants says this morning we got a little tail swish. That's cat barometer. Anyway, we are talking about this transition between being a material person and a spiritual person, and we might say it's a developmental phase for every spiritual being, every soul, and it's a challenging transition. And today I wanted to look at it from the angle of what perhaps one of its most important qualities, and that is the quality of thinking. Now, on the one hand, there seem to be these two great schools, two great pillars in the world of spirituality. One seems to sort of discount thinking or dismiss thinking, or say that most of our thinking is unnecessary. And we look at a line from a great spiritual master who says, "You cannot, by taking thought, add 1 cubit to your measure." In other words, we can't think our way out of our dilemmas sometimes. And no matter what we think, it'll never change our true nature, the true spiritual nature of who we are. On the other hand, another quality of spirituality talks about the almost impossible to measure value of our thought life, and they seem to be at odds with one another. So today I want to look at it from the aspect of, I don't think there's any doubt that the way that we think is going to affect our human lives, and that's an important thing. It's spiritual to live the best expression, the most harmonious, the most joyful life, in my estimation. Of course, anybody else can believe whatever they want. That's what I love about this game. Believe what you want, take it out in the world, give it a go. But from what I've learned, the quality of what I think is of paramount importance. There's no way I'm going to live a good life and think bad thoughts. So to me, the transition from being a physical, worldly person, and there's nothing wrong with that, but for the souls that are ready to make the transition to the spiritual life, that transitional phase where it feels like we're kicked about by a football, the way that we think and what we think is impossibly important. And if we're ever going to make that transition, probably the hardest thing for any of us to do is to take control of our thought life. And the reason it's so difficult to do is our thoughts are so close to us. They're so deeply ingrained into the automatic part of our brain. And the nature of our thinking we've set in place with great momentum over many years. And to change that is as challenging as anything to do. In fact, you could take a look at a great number of people that have lived in human history who have become exceptionally gifted, talented, capable, adept at a host of things. People that are great with musical instruments, scalpels, people that are great with computers and engineering, people that are great with creating and artistry, you name it, people that are incredibly good at things. They got really good at those things, but they did not get good at thinking or controlling their emotional life. And because of that, no matter how good they got in the world with their physical talent or skill, which could have taken them all the way to the top, their thinking, their thought life was never healed or improved. So the way that I see it is changing our thought has to be one of the hardest things in the world. But if there's anything that's going to make it more possible for us, if there's anything that's going to make it available, it's meditating. Because in meditating, we slow our thoughts down. And it's so much easier to work with something when it's going slower. I'm really learning that in the world of music and rhythm and timing. I'm at this phase where I'm learning all the quarter notes and eighth notes and dotted et ceteras, and it's ridiculously, insanely complicated. But I know people that can just read it in a heartbeat. They've learned it. But for me, the only way, especially my drum teacher, he can go through a notation of timing with incredible rapidity. I've got to slow it down. There's no way I can do that quickly. So in meditation, we slow our mind down. And when our mind is slow, it's much easier to get to that baseline inside of our mind and our brain that allows us to begin to think different, to meet life with new thoughts, new ideas, new patterns of perception. So, congratulations on being a meditator and slowing down your thought. Have you ever noticed when you're agitated, you're much more likely to make a quick snap decision and oftentimes relate or resort to a very old part of your thinking? That's what's going to happen to us. Yet, if we slow down, if we pause when agitated, if we let our thinking life calm down, then we can begin to change our thinking life. And this will make us far more adept and make the transition from the physical world to the spiritual world, where we solve problems and create realities much more easily. Something to look forward to. All right, enjoy your thought life today.